Good evening, visitors. Welcome to the Australian War Memorial's last post ceremony. My name is Craig Burrell, and joining us today from the Australian Army is Officer Cadet Ryan Ewington. We're honoured to acknowledge Lieutenant General Kita Funakura, Commandant Air Command and Staff College, Japan, and the accompanying delegation. We also warmly welcome Wing Commander Bob Howe, retired, representing the Air Force Association. We welcome the veterans who have served, those that are still serving, and the families that love and support them. The live stream of this ceremony is made possible by the Returned and Services League of Australia and the RSL and Services Clubs Association. We welcome members who are watching the broadcast of this ceremony across Australia. During this evening's ceremony, wreaths will be laid at the base of the Pool of Reflection by visitors to the memorial and students on behalf of Coleambally Central School from Coleambally, New South Wales. If you are able, please stand and join in singing the National Anthem. Please be seated if you can do so. The Australian War Memorial was the vision of Charles Bean, Australia's First World War official historian. Bean landed with the Australian troops on Gallipoli and stayed with them at the front through to the end of the war. The idea of this national memorial and museum came to him at Pozières, France, in the depths of the bloody fighting of 1916. Bean's idea was that this would be a place where families and friends could mourn their loved ones buried in faraway places. It would also be a place that could help all Australians understand what these men and women had endured and what they had done for us. Bean's vision, to which we remain true, is best expressed as inscribed in the entrance to the memorial's galleries. Here is their spirit, in the hearts of the land they loved, and here we guard the record which they themselves made. Tonight, we will read the story behind just one of those on the Roll of Honour, which lists the names of more than 103,000 men and women who have given their lives for us in war and on operations for more than a century. But first, we present a lament. Flowers of the forest. Wreaths or floral tributes will now be laid at the base of the Pool of Reflection.
Today, we remember and pay tribute to Sergeant Craig Sloan Thomson. Craig Thompson was born on the 8th of June 1922 in Sydney, the son of Robert and Mary Thompson. He attended Gosford High School before joining his father working as a poultry farmer. Craig Thompson enlisted in the Royal Australian Air Force on the 28th of April 1941 at the age of 18. He initially began training as a pilot, attending elementary flying school in Temora. But he soon changed tracks, attending wireless and gunnery school, and then bombing and gunnery school at Evans Head, earning his aerial gunner's badge in April 1942, a year after enlisting. Thompson embarked at Sydney on the 16th of June 1942, bound for overseas service. As part of the Empire Air Training Scheme, he was one of almost 27,500 RAAF pilots, navigators, wireless operators, air gunners, and flight engineers, who, throughout the course of the war, joined Royal Air Force squadrons or Australian squadrons based in Britain. Arriving in the United Kingdom in late August, he continued training until early November, when he was transferred to the newly established No. 464 Squadron, RAAF. Equipped with Lockheed Ventura light bombers, No. 464 Squadron was part of 2 Group of Bomber Command. Its first operation, an attack on the Philips radio factory at Eindhoven in the Netherlands, on the 6th of December 1942. This characterised its method of carrying out precision raids against point targets. In daylight attacks, the squadron flew in close formation across the English Channel at low level to avoid detection by enemy radar, before climbing quickly to their bombing height of 10,000 feet, swiftly diving again to sea level after the attack and leaving their escort to prevent pursuit. Losses were generally light on these tip-and-run raids, but on many occasions, aircraft were badly damaged. Sergeant Thompson, however, would not live to undertake operations with his new unit. During a training exercise on the 4th of November, he was a crew member in a Lockheed Ventura that took off from RAF Feltwell at noon for a low-level training exercise. Having completed the exercise, the aircraft crashed, coming down in a field, exploding and burning on impact. This was the squadron's first fatal accident. All on board were killed. Flight Lieutenant Maurice Dorr, Warrant Officer Thomas Martin, Flight Sergeant John Palmer, Sergeant Herbert Painting, and Sergeant Craig Thompson, who was 20 years old. Today, his remains lie in Rutherglen Cemetery in Scotland. His name is listed on the Roll of Honour to my left, among almost 40,000 Australians who died while serving in the Second World War. A photograph of his headstone is displayed today by the Pool of Reflection. This is but one of many stories of service and sacrifice told here at the Australian War Memorial. We now remember Sergeant Craig Sloan Thomson, who gave his life for us, for our freedoms, and in the hope of a better world.
Please stand for the reading of the Ode and the sounding of the last post.
They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun, and in the morning, we will remember them.
We'll remember them.
lest we forget.
Lest we forget. We leave you this evening with the words of the memorial's founder, Charles Bean. Many a man lying out there at Pozieres or in the low scrub at Gallipoli, with his poor, tired senses barely working through the fever of his brain, has thought in his last moments, well, it's over. But in Australia, they will be proud of this. Ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, that concludes the last post ceremony. On behalf of the Director, staff and volunteers, we thank you for visiting the Australian War Memorial today and for your continued support during the memorial's development project. We wish you all a very pleasant evening.